Star Trek Section 31 movie sequel. Everything we know. Will Star Trek Section 31 get a sequel, and will Paramount Plus order more Star Trek streaming movies? Directed by Olatunde Osunsanmi and written by Craig Sweeney, Star Trek Section 31 is headlined by Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh, who reprises her fan-favorite anti-heroine, Emperor Philippa Georgiou from Star Trek Discovery. The first new Star Trek movie in 9 years, and the first Star Trek movie made for streaming, Star Trek Section 31 premiered Friday, January 24th on Paramount Plus. Star Trek Section 31 is a feature film spin-off of Star Trek Discovery, but it carves out its own place in the Star Trek timeline. Set in the 24th century Lost era, decades before the start of Star Trek, The Next Generation Star Trek, Section 31 sees Emperor Georgiou recruited back into Starfleet's shadowy intelligence division. The Section 31 Black Ops team, led by Alok Sahar Omari Hardwick, needs Georgiou to find a superweapon that ties back to Philippa's past as the ruler of the Terran Empire in the Mirror Universe. Georgiou faces the sins of her past as the unlikely protector of the United Federation of Planets. Star Trek Section 31's ending set up a sequel, but will it happen? Star Trek Section 31's ending leaves the door open for a sequel about Emperor Georgiou and her Section 31 team. In fact, Section 31's final scene sets up a new mission for Georgiou and her Black Ops Rogue Squadron. Georgiou is also formally back in Section 31's fold by the end of Star Trek Section 31. In Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Georgiou was previously a member of Section 31 and helped the USS Discovery and the USS Enterprise defeat Section 31's genocidal AI control. Section 31 is already a historic project as it's the first Star Trek movie headlined by a woman and Oscar winner. Star Trek Section 31 getting a sequel is entirely up to what kind of numbers the first new Star Trek movie in 9 years garners on streaming, although the target threshold for success is unknown. Star Trek on Paramount Plus clearly has high hopes for Star Trek Section 31, and the streamer would also like to continue making Star Trek movies with Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh. Section 31 is already a historic project as it's the first Star Trek movie headlined by a woman and Oscar winner, and it's the first Star Trek movie not about any version of the Starship Enterprise. Star Trek Section 31 was originally planned to be a TV series spin-off of Star Trek Discovery. Michelle Yeoh's Georgiou was written out of Star Trek Discovery Season 3, which also mentioned Philippa's past lover, San James Hiroyuki Liao, to bridge to Section 31. However, the COVID-19 pandemic and Michelle Yeoh winning the Best Actress Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once changed Section 31's trajectory. As the first Star Trek streaming movie, Paramount Plus hopes Section 31 will create a new and profitable division of Star Trek on Paramount Plus to complement the multiple streaming Star Trek TV series. Which Star Trek Section 31 characters would return for a sequel? Not everyone survived the chaos of Star Trek Section 31, but most of the Black Ops team remained alive at the end of the movie, including Emperor Georgiou. Given who was gathered at Georgiou's nightclub, the Baram, at the end of Star Trek Section 31, it's apparent that Michelle Yeoh's Georgiou, Omari Hardwick's Alok Sahar, Casey Roll's newly promoted LT Commander Rachel Garrett, Sam Richardson's Quasi, and Sven Rygrock as a new version of the Vulcan Fuzz would be back for a Star Trek Section 31 sequel, as would Jamie Lee Curtis as Section 31's handler, Control. Star Trek fans, brace yourselves. The mysterious, morally ambiguous world of Starfleet's Black Ops division is expanding. With the Star Trek Section 31 movie having stirred up the Trekverse, rumors and hints now point toward a potential sequel. While official details are still locked in a Starfleet database somewhere on Earth, or maybe Konos, here's everything we know and a bit of what we can speculate about the next installment in the Section 31 saga. The rise of Section 31. The first Star Trek Section 31 movie, led by the captivating Michelle Yeoh as Emperor Philippa Georgiou, dove deep into the gray areas of Starfleet's ethics. Set after her departure from the Mirror Universe and subsequent adventures in the Star Trek Discovery timeline, the film gave fans a high-stakes blend of espionage, galaxy-saving missions, and the sort of moral dilemmas Star Trek thrives on. Now, the buzz around a sequel has reached warp speed. Confirmed, Michelle Yeoh returns. Paramount Plus has all but confirmed that Michelle Yeoh will reprise her role as the enigmatic Georgiou. After her Oscar win, Yeoh's stock has only skyrocketed, and fans were thrilled to see her return to Star Trek after a brief hiatus. Her take on Georgiou, equal parts Imperial wrath and covert savior, has anchored the tone of Section 31 as a darker, edgier corner of the Federation. Expect the sequel to delve even deeper into Georgiou's complex psyche, especially after the revelations of the Temporal Accord and her mysterious reassignment by the Department of Temporal Investigations. Story details, what we know and what we think we know. While the plot remains under wraps, insider sources hint that the sequel will revolve around a fractured timeline and a rogue Federation agent threatening to dismantle history itself. Section 31, being one of the few entities with access to time travel tech and willing to use it, is uniquely positioned to respond. Expect themes of identity, redemption, and sacrifice to continue playing major roles. Georgiou's own struggle to reconcile her Imperial past with her current mission for good makes her the ideal lead for a story about moral gray zones and the cost of doing what must be done. There's also speculation that the sequel could cross paths with characters from Star Trek, Picard, or Lower Decks, given Star Trek's increasing embrace of interconnected storytelling. A cameo from 7 of 9 or even a younger Section 31 recruit like Worf pre-Next Generation isn't off the table. Cast and crew, returning and new faces. While Michelle Yeoh is confirmed, other cast members are still a mystery. However, there are whispers that Shazad Latif may return as Ash Tyler, the former Klingon-turned-Starfleet officer whose ties to Section 31 are well established. His inner conflict and deep loyalty make him a perfect counterpoint to Georgiou's icy precision. Behind the camera, Olatunde Osunsanmi, frequent Discovery director, may return to direct, while Bo Yen Kim and Erica Lippold are expected to pen the script once again. Their ability to blend lore, character development, and sleek sci-fi visuals made the first film a hit with fans. Will this be a franchise? Paramount's strategy appears to mirror Marvel and Star Wars, build out niche corners of the universe with strong, character-driven stories. Section 31, with its clandestine missions and ethically murky operations, is ripe for expansion. If the sequel performs well, a trilogy is likely. There's even been talk of a potential spin-off series chronicling the rise of Section 31 from Starfleet's secret arm to its own shadowy empire. Whether that's live action or animated remains to be seen. Release window and production timeline. Though no official release date has been locked in, production is expected to begin in late 2025, with a possible release in early to mid-2026. The first film premiered on Paramount Plus, and the sequel is expected to follow suit, possibly with a limited theatrical release given Yeoh's star power and fan demand. Final thoughts. The Star Trek Section 31 sequel promises more of what made the original stand out. Spy thriller storytelling, complex characters, and a willingness to ask hard questions about the cost of peace. With Michelle Yeoh leading the charge and Star Trek's creative team fully invested, the next mission into the shadows of the Federation is set to be its most dangerous and compelling yet. As always with Star Trek, the stars are the limit. Want this in a different tone or format, maybe a snarkier blog style or an in-universe Starfleet transmission? Paramount's strategy appears to mirror Marvel and Star Wars, build out niche corners of the universe with strong, character-driven stories. Section 31, with its clandestine missions and ethically murky operations, is ripe for expansion. If the sequel performs well, a trilogy is likely. There's even been talk of a potential spin-off series chronicling the rise of Section 31 from Starfleet's secret arm to its own shadowy empire. Whether that's live action or animated remains to be seen.